and welcome back to Getting Ready with Me and History. I'm Stephanie. I'm the blogger of Glamorous and Geeky, and today, it's Wednesday. It's time for another Get Ready with Me in History, and today we are going to be talking about something kind of weird. It's history. It happens. It's something you might laugh about, but it's called the dancing plague. Yeah, we're going to talk about the dancing plague. I first heard about this and knew that there was one that happened in Germany, but apparently it happened in more places than just Germany. If you hear a lot of banging around, it's my kids playing in my makeup kit, because that's a thing. That is a thing for me. And I'm trying to now take all the paraphernalia that can be considered dangerous to have around children. Not paraphernalia, but my makeup brushes are in danger of being made blue and black by other types of makeup. So I'm trying to just curb all of that real quick. No. Yeah, dude. Okay, so I'm holding on to the tripod so my boy doesn't destroy it. So anyway, the dancing plague. Like I said, I first heard about the one that happened in Germany back in the 1300s, but I didn't know that it happened in the 1518. And what led me to this whole thing about the dancing plague was falling down the rabbit hole of researching the Black Death, the Black Plague. All this stuff. I remember watching this really good documentary on it on History Channel. Remember when they used to actually show history and not how aliens built the pyramids? But such a let's not even go there. But yeah, so hopefully these children didn't use my so we're going to be talking about that today. But anyway, while I was researching about the Black Death, I came across the dancing plague, and I thought it was really interesting, and I saw about the one that happened in Germany. And also, just so you know, I'm doing my makeup while I talk about history, and if there's anything that you want to purchase or any of the products you're want to know what I'm using, I link to everything down in the description, okay? And I also sometimes link my sources. I've only made 2 of these videos so far, but I'm gonna do a lot more, so I'm really excited to share this with you. So the one that I remember hearing about was the one that happened in Germany. In the come on, don't eat that. Don't eat the tripod. My 2-year-old's trying to eat the tripod. The one that I'm familiar with happened in Germany. It's not a balloon, sweetheart. It's a tripod. It's not no. Okay, you're weird. But anyway, the one that I am familiar with is the one that happened in Germany. But okay, so historical sources say that most, there was an outbreak of this dancing, and then after that, one lady started dancing. Mostly women joined in, and it lasted so long that it attracted the attention of the Strasbourg magistrate. So they're, now involved with this dancing that doesn't seem to want to stop. And the bishop also got involved. The local bishop got involved. Now, this plague, also called dancing mania, Korea, St. John's dance, or St. Virtue's dance, was a social phenomena. And in 1518, it may have been one of the bigger epidemics, but it was not certainly the first. The one that they think happened first was back in 1020 on a Christmas Eve service. Sorry. No. Yeah, it happened on a Christmas Eve service in Bernburg in Christmas. Then it also happened again in 1237, where it mostly affected children, and they, link it to being of a similar situation to the Pied Piper, I guess. The Pied Piper. Okay. Then it happened again in 1374 in Aachen, also in the Holy Roman Empire. And again, this mostly happened in Europe, and then it slowly started to die out by the mid to end of the 17th century. So it just all of a sudden just went, no more. So on June 1374, one of the biggest outbreaks began in action. And I'm probably pronouncing all this wrong, so I am aware that I'm butchering all of these names. I'm destroying them. Okay, I know it. I know I am. So anyway, it's Germany. It is modern day Germany. We're just gonna call it Germany from now on. It's Germany. Okay, so before it spread to places like Cologne, Flanders, Franconia, Hainaut, Metz, Strasbourg, which it continuously happens there, Torgau and Utrecht. And then the one in Germany, like I said, was the one that I'm mostly familiar with. How much eyeshadow is she gonna put on in that one spot? All the eyeshadow. So anyway, okay. It also, happened in France, and then it hit Italy and Luxembourg as well. In 1375 and 1376, this phenomena happened in France, Germany, the Netherlands, and also it was happening in England. So it spread to there as well. This dancing, stop laughing. It's not that funny. This is serious. These people were dancing to death. Although there's not really any real true records of anyone dancing to death, it was said that in 1428, a monk danced himself to death in Schaffhausen. And, also in that same year, there was another group of women that were in a dancing frenzy in Zurich. But anyway, there was more incidents that happened in 1418, also happened in Strasbourg, where the people were fasting at this time, and there was periods of hardship, but they started dancing uncontrollably and wouldn't stop. So it's said that when these people were dancing, they would enter into what was like a trance-like state. They don't remember what exactly happened, but after the dance-off, they felt refreshed. They felt different. There was a bit of euphoria. Sounds to me like somebody was having a bad trip or something. I don't know. Maybe they were they ate something they shouldn't have, drank something they shouldn't have. Maybe they were just weird people. Maybe, I don't know. We'll get into that. So back in 1518 in Strasbourg, and the woman who's mostly believed is unnamed, or some other historians believe her name was Frau Trophäa, was joined in a group that went from 40 or 50 people to 400 people dancing like maniacs in the street. In the 17th century, like I said, incidents like this started to teeter off. It started to just come to like an end, but earlier parts of the 17th century, the reoccurring dancing was documented and recorded by the professor of medicine, Gregor Host, and he quoted, "Several women who annually visit the chapel of St. Vitus in Dreffelhausen dance madly all day, and all night until they collapse in ecstasy." Okay. In this way, they come to themselves again and feel little or nothing until the next day. So maybe they felt hungover in a way, I guess. It just sounds bizarre. This whole thing is just so weird. Okay. Until the next May, when they are here again. So they stop and then they don't do it again until May. Okay. Until next May, when they are forced around the St. Vitus Day and betake themselves to that place. One of these women is said to have danced here for every year for the past 20 years, and another a full 32. Ending the quote. This mania just stopped, like I said, in the mid 17th century. So it just, done. We're done dancing. So what are the symptoms of this dancing revolution? Uncontrollable dancing. You're dancing passionately and fervently in the streets. Some people believe that it was foreigners that came to these places as like a, what's the word I'm looking for? A pilgrimage, almost. They came like as a pilgrimage to this place where St. Vitus is, or whatever it is. and maybe their costumes, and that's just how they worship or how they celebrate, was dancing nonstop. Others believe that it may have been a form of food poisoning. However, in Strasbourg in 1418, if you remember, or 1428 or whatever it was, 14 something, they were fasting at that time. So how could they have had some sort of food poisoning if they were fasting and there was severe hardship, meaning there wasn't a lot of food to go around, unless the food that they did have at some point was tainted. Huh. What was it tainted with? The ergot fungi. Now, the ergot fungi releases a type of, psychoactive ingredient called ergotamine. Ergotamine. And it is linked to drugs like LSD-25. So, they may have just caused an unintentional LSD-inspired trip by ingesting bread or things made with this ergot, and so they unintentionally caused themselves some distress by eating tainted food. So it is very possible that they just ate some tainted stuff, and that's why they got the way they did. You know, there's not a lot of proof to that. In fact, they actually think that that is what caused some of those girls to have fits during the Salem witch trials, although I kind of disagree with that, because to me it seems like those kiddos were just looking for some attention. I think that was mostly attention based. They were wanting attention. I mean, maybe some of the contorting, because I guess seizure-like symptoms can happen if you get tainted food with this stuff. But this whole dancing stuff, I mean, if it caused that, one historian said that in order to have that kind of a trip from this stuff, you would have to ingest quite a bit of it. But if you think about it, if people are at some sort of a feast for a religious celebration and they're hungry, well, yeah, they're gonna stuff their faces till they're bloated and happy, right? I mean, think about us at Thanksgiving. Do we know how to stop ourselves from eating that much turkey pie and mashed potatoes? No, we don't. We just keep eating. I keep eating. It's Thanksgiving. You gotta eat, right? You gotta give thanks for food that may have not actually been at the first Thanksgiving, but anyway, that's a different show. So they so they believe that it could have been the ergots. But again, some historians believe that that is not the case, that it was actually maybe just something else. Some people may think that it's the waterways that were nearby, these two rivers, the Rhine or Moselle rivers. Some people blame those water sources as the reason for these outbreaks that are regional. But again, if that's the case, were the other places that were mentioned, were they near those two rivers? I don't know if a lot of them were. I probably should have looked that up. But I don't know if that's the case too. Maybe in certain regions it could be tainted water, but then that goes right back to the tainted water nonsense. Is this the same situation there, you know? Or not? I don't know. What do you know? So, I mean, it's something to think about. And like I said, it just all of a sudden died off. So what was the cause of this craziness? What exactly happened? Well, I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to truly find out 100% why it happened, how it happens, you know, that kind of stuff. Hi, Whittle. Oh, you smell. Thank you. You smell like the poo-poo. But anyway, I don't know exactly if we'll ever get to the bottom of it, because not much was documented. If it was, you know, there's a lot of, conflicting information about yeah, I know about this whole situation with the dance off. I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. And it definitely makes you think, okay. And then the fact that they kind of single women out as the main culprits for this, but then that also can be contested because it also happened to men. And I just realized I used the wrong brush and I spread more bronzer on my face. Oh God, this is special. But anyway, I think it's definitely an interesting situation, this whole story. It definitely makes you want to watch what kind of bread you're eating, and also be grateful that you're not living in the Middle Ages, because, yeah. But, I mean, I guess there could be a lot of reasons for this. Could it just have been mental illness based on hardship? Because that's another situation that they think may have caused it, was the fact that there was a lot of hardship going on right then. You know, was it in situations of famine? Was it because, you know, living conditions were not so great? I mean, there's a ton of questions to be asked about this whole situation. And then my main thing is, can it actually be called an epidemic at all? Because if it's not actually caused by a virus or caused by a bacterial infection or something like that, can it even still be placed as a epidemic or even a plague? I mean, I wouldn't even call it a plague at this point. From the research that I've done, it seems like the more accurate description of this, or what the better term should be for this dance revolution disease, is to basically just call it a mania. You know, is it hysteria? Remember, we talked about last week how the Salem witch trials were mostly because of hysteria and girls wanting attention. Was it kind of the same thing? Was it hysteria? Were people joining in because all of a sudden the power of persuasion made people think that they were sick too? Oh my God, I got the dancing plague, I've got it too. And you think about that one part on Muppet Treasure Island with cabin fever, I've got it too. And they're all dancing like lunatics because of the power of persuasion. The power of one person saying, oh, I've got it. Well, I think I have it too. And then next thing you know, everybody's coming down with the dancing sickness. I mean, really, if you think about it, this plague isn't the worst one that's ever been. But again, I don't think I can actually say that I personally believe that it's a plague, because again, it didn't actually do a lot of damage. No one really probably actually died from it. Some people say that some danced themselves to death, but there's not really a bunch of records saying that, except for that one monk. But I believe even that's kind of contested on whether or not it's true. So is it true? My kid's throwing my makeup across the room. Is it true? Is it false? Is it, you know, which is it? Did people actually die from it? I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that. Hey, it's just me and the Pringles can here. Okay, so the last part of my Get Ready With Me in history did not record at all. So I basically left off talking about how there wasn't really much evidence, or there was conflicting information on whether or not some people actually died from the dancing plague. You know, him dancing himself to death is contested, and maybe he didn't actually die. If he did die from it, it wasn't maybe caused by this plague. Maybe he had a heart attack. Maybe, who knows? But I don't know if it was actually caused by that. Yes, there's Pringles back there. But anyway, it's kind of hard to say, you know, what exactly my thoughts are on. Well, it's not hard at all. I can say it. I don't really think I can say that it's a 100%. I think this is a plague. I think it is this. I just don't. Based on what I've read about this whole situation with this dancing mania, I think that's what we can call it. It's kind of like dancing mania. You know, one person's dancing, all of a sudden, I think I'm dancing too. You know how if somebody gets an itch, oh, my skin's so itchy, I think there's something, yeah, I itch too. Like, it's the power of persuasion. And I think maybe that's mostly what happened. What the hell is going on with this? after that video didn't record, the makeup that my kid threw, he broke my IlMAkiage foundation bottle. And it went everywhere. So anyway, my final thoughts on this whole thing are, I really don't honestly think I can say that I think that it was an epidemic. I mean, personally, I'm not a doctor. I'm an amateur historian, I guess you could say. I'm just doing this for fun. But anyway, I can't really say that because it's not, to me, it's more maybe mental, I don't know, but I don't think, because when you think of plagues, you think of epidemics, you think of virus, bacterial infection, that kind of stuff, and that is where my mind keeps going, so it's hard for me to say, it's mental, maybe it's not. But I think it's just like a situation with this whole dancing plague. I think it's just like it's just hysteria. I think it's just based around mass hysteria. The power of persuasion. I have it, they have it. And the first person that started dancing, she may have actually been sick. Frau Trophea in Strasbourg may have actually been sick. She may have eaten something bad. She may have had a mental breakdown. We don't really know. They don't even know if that's her name. But this is what happened. This is history. As bizarre and weird as it is, there's some weird stuff in history. And this is just one of the things that happened. So what do you think caused it? Do you think it was LSD-laced bread or LSD-laced grain by the ergot fungi? Or do you think it's because of the waterways? Do you think it's just a symptom of mass hysteria, mental illness? What are your thoughts? Comment down below. Also, let me know if there's another I got a tickle. If there's another historical thing you want me to cover. I don't really do more modern history, like past like 1900. I mean, I might, but as of right now, I do more of the old, ancient, old and stuff. But I'm willing. Whatever, I'll just talk about it. So comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. This is just like an interesting, weird situation. Like I said, I stumbled upon it when I was looking up the stuff for the Black Death, the plague. It was a deep rabbit hole. I ended up seeing dancing plague. What the hell is this? Let's look it up. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy, weird, and hilariously weird. It's weird. Yeah, it is one of those weird things. It's like, this happened. It kept happening? What the heck is, what is this? I don't know. And that's my thoughts. And I have got the worst heartburn today. Excuse me. It's been like this for a few days and I am dying. It is horrible. Ugh, it's horrible. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. That would be nice too, at Glamorous and Geeky. And again, I'll link to all the products that I used today. So if you're interested, blah, 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 blah. There they are. Yeah. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for being my neighbor. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. And hopefully it'll be less insane. It probably won't be. I have kids. I'm kind of insane too. We all are. Have a good weekend.